Chapter 186, First Move. As soon as Rimuru left to rescue Veldora, those remaining behind quickly shifted into emergency reorganization mode. Under Benemaru's command, Tempest entered a state of high alert, ready to respond to any potential threat. The reorganization was completed, swiftly and without issue, immediately following the Empire's invasion. Though it excluded those currently undergoing evolution, Benemaru along with Zoe and Sean handled the preparations. Gabil had returned to his cave due to the effects of his evolution, while Gerudo went to the Empire's military headquarters to attend a strategic meeting. The defense of Tempest during Rimuro's absence was left to those who had not evolved. Naturally, Benimaru and Sean continued with their usual duties, unaffected by the evolution process. Although it was hard to believe that the mighty Veldora had been captured by the enemy, they were confident in their master. Rimuru had already taken action, and his strength and insight as a demon lord were unmatched. They believed trouble was inevitable during his absence, but trusted that he would handle the crisis. Benimaru, are you sure about this? Sean asked, her tone teasing. You know what I mean. How are things going with that matter? What are you talking about, Sean? This is an emergency. I don't have time to think about that. Benimaru stammered, clearly flustered. He tried to dodge the question, but his discomfort created an awkward silence. The subject was his soul-binding marriage with Momiji, which had been approved during the recent victory celebration. Although celebrated then, several traditional rites remained unfinished. Benimaru was aware of this, but felt now was not the time. After all, the situation escalated quickly. Following Guy's attack and Veldora's rampage, there had been no room for personal affairs. Only now did they finally have a brief moment of calm. Even so, the demons under Diablo had recently teleported and deployed, so they couldn't completely let their guard down. Benimaru's excuses were valid, but no, that's something important too. Zoe interjected, having overheard their exchange. You don't know what might happen next. You should do what you can while you have the chance. As someone who had known Benimaru for a long time, Zoe easily saw through his attempts to delay things. But still, Rimuru-sama is out there on the front lines, and here I am, Benimaru protested. It's fine. We have 12 Guardian Lords and several others on standby. Zoe reassured him. My subordinates have been grumbling about being left out of the spotlight. Even without you, we can manage. The sooner you evolve, the more useful you'll be to Rimuru-sama. I know that, but what about you, Sean? Why haven't you evolved? Benimaru countered. Sean's playful jabs had turned serious, and now she found herself on the receiving end. The two stared at each other, the tension thick in the air. Zoe sighed in exasperation. Benimaru, leave the rest to us. I've reinforced surveillance across the city. If anything happens, we'll respond immediately. Focus on your own duty. With that, Benimaru made up his mind he would accompany Momiji to the Tengu village across the border to meet their elder. What sealed the decision was the news that Rimuru had successfully rescued Veldora. Zoe and Sean exchanged glances and let out sighs of relief. Benimaru had always been an important figure among them, since the days there were still overs. His growth and happiness mattered to them even now. Just as Benimaru was about to depart, a shadow moved. Someone made the first move. This marked the beginning of the great war to come. Meanwhile, in the labyrinth, the joyous atmosphere of the recent victory celebration had completely shifted. Even Ramirez, back in the labyrinth's innermost depths, felt it. She had been in high spirits after her subordinates, the Dragon Kings, completed their evolutions without issue. But upon learning that her teacher, Veldora, had been captured, her joy vanished. Unease settled over her like a storm cloud. Ramirez wanted nothing more than to live each day in peace and happiness. This labyrinth, where she felt at home, had made that possible. After spending so much time alone, comforted only by the spirits, she didn't want to lose the place that had become so precious. No one worried about Veldora more than she did. Geez, teacher must have let his guard down, I'm sure of it. She muttered, flying circles around her laboratory. Really, now, he's supposed to be invincible. Her restlessness didn't settle until she received word from Shuna that Veldora had been safely rescued. Well, I knew he'd be okay. If Rimuru went after him, there was nothing to worry about, she said triumphantly, sipping her juice weakly. Yeah, sure, Shinji muttered, trying not to engage. Beretta, ever calm and composed, remained at Ramirez's side, tending to his master's moods. I should take a page from Beretta's book, Stay Calm, Shinji thought, but he kept those thoughts to himself, lest he provoke Ramirez and risk a pay cut. Still, Shuna's-san is so graceful. Even as she left the room, Shuna's every movement was elegant. Her beauty and quiet strength had captivated not just Shinji, but also Mark, Michelle, and Raymond. Once Shuna departed, Shinji turned to glance at Ramirez again and let out a sigh. What, if you've got something to say, just say it, Ramirez demanded. No, no, nothing at all, Shinji replied hastily, realizing too late that his thoughts had shown on his face. You still haven't mastered controlling your emotions. He remembered his master Ghidorah saying. Indeed, it was something Shinji had struggled with, something he wished he could learn from the stoic Shin. Comparing Shuna and Ramirez felt unfair. Though Shuna looked like a young girl, her presence was dignified. Ramirez, despite her years, still had the temperament of a child. Still, Shinji thought of her fondly. She was frustrating, but endearing. But the chaos of the celebration still lingered in his mind. A report that a godlike being Bildora had been captured had come out of nowhere. The power of the devils revealed that day was beyond comprehension. They were terrifyingly powerful, yet served Rimuru loyally. Shinji, an otherworlder, had once thought highly of himself. That illusion shattered during the party. He realized the invading Empire army had represented less than 30% of Tempest's total strength, and that was before the evolution process. Now, many Tempest executives were ascending to Demon Lord class. He didn't fully understand it, but one thing was clear. He was grateful. Ghidorah had taken them in and brought them to Tempest. Just then, Dino-san, where have you been? Come to think of it, Rimuru-sama was looking for you earlier. Ah, my bad, my bad. Just had a little errand. Is Ramirez around? Dino had returned, and Mark noticed him immediately. Dino, Rimuru's furious and looking for you. Where have you been? Ramirez cried, flying up to confront him. But before she could reach him, Beretta stepped in. Dino reached toward Ramirez, and in an instant, Beretta intercepted him. The speed was so fast, even Shinji and the others couldn't follow. Only Beretta's precise reaction prevented disaster. Still here, huh? Huh. This place is crawling with nuisance. Dino muttered, eyes half-lidded with disinterest. Shinji and the others finally realized this wasn't just a casual visit. Something serious was happening. Ramirez gasped, looking back and forth between Dino and Beretta, trying to make sense of the tension. Shinji moved beside Beretta to shield Ramirez. Shin did the same, but Mark collapsed. Dino had eliminated him just like that. Though revival was possible in the labyrinth, Shinji burned with anger. What the hell was that for? He shouted. But Dino ignored him, eyes locked on Ramirez. Manager Ramirez, the time has come. Even if you've lost your memory and changed, you cannot be allowed to exist as a threat. Dino declared coldly, if I destroy you now, this labyrinth will be sealed. The devils inside are too dangerous. If you can't be useful, then at least don't get in the way. So please die quietly. What are you babbling about? I'll tell Guy, and he'll beat you senseless, Ramirez retorted. Dino chuckled. I figured you'd say that. But I'm serious. I was created as an observer. I didn't want to work, really, but here we are, he said with a shrug. So try your best and fight back. I won't hold back, not when there's another observer out there watching. With a lazy smile, he waved his hand, but his aura shifted. He was no longer the easygoing Dino. Even Ramirez finally understood. Wait, you're serious? Fine, I'll fight you. I've got Dragon Kings at my side. About that, their evolution isn't quite done, so I've put them to sleep. My ability works perfectly. No need for messy complications. Right now, it's just you and me in here. What? That's impossible. Thanks to my ultimate skill, Slutful King Belphegor, this entire labyrinth is asleep. Whatever. Beretta, take him down, Ramirez shouted. Try to hold out as long as you can. Dino replied, launching his attack. In an instant, the massive log became a battlefield. Dino had revealed more of himself than expected, but Shinji still couldn't understand him. Ramirez didn't think too deeply about it, but Shinji did. Maybe Dino never intended to work with them. Maybe he believed everything would be fine if he just erased all threats. But if so, why waste time talking? Regardless, the first move had been made, and the Great War had officially begun. End of chapter 186.